My name is Fanae, and I am the clinical social worker here. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
I would like to make you aware that during our session, everything that we discuss will be confidential. However, if we get to a point where you mention thoughts of harming yourself or others, then we would have to address those behaviors. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Awesome. So could you please share with me what brought you in today?
Well, I've been feeling really depressed and hopeless for a while now. My parents recently passed away last year, and ever since that happened, I've been feeling really sad and lost. And I'm at a point where I feel like it would be best to talk with someone that can help me through some of the feelings that I've been experiencing.
Wow, that sounds really tough. Um, the loss of your parents, I know you must be devastated. Thank you for opening up and sharing that with me. I'm definitely sorry for your loss, and I know it must be a difficult time for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. And it really has been a difficult time. I just feel so stuck and so lost.
I'm so sorry that you're going through that now. Um, but I hope that we can come up with a plan of how to help you going forward. So, with that being said, I would like to ask you some questions about yourself to get to know you a little better. Is that okay?
Yeah. Mhm.
So, can you tell me about yourself as far as background information? Like, what do you identify as? What's your ethnicity? How old are you?
Yeah. Well, I identify as a female. And my personal pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm 26 years old. I am from upstate New York. And my ethnicity is that I'm half Caucasian and Hispanic and Latino.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, can you share with me a little bit more about your family? I understand you did say that um, you're dealing with the loss of your parents. Could you tell me about your family, about your relationship and upbringing with your family and any other potential family members?
Yeah. So growing up, I was I would say that we had a pretty close and tight-knit family. I was close with both of my parents before they passed away back in 2023. I was especially close with my mom, and my mother died from having ALS, and my father passed away in September from having COPD. He was a really heavy smoker and had a lot of trouble breathing. And I'm an only child. I don't have any siblings, but I do have a really great relationship with my Aunt Valerie. She's my mother's youngest sister, and we're really pretty close in age. But I don't really get to see her often because she's always working. She's a doctor. And I'm really close. I'm not really close with any of my other family members. My mom has another older sister named Miranda, but I haven't seen or talked to her since I was a child. Her and my mom had a really big falling out years ago, and I haven't spoken to her since. My father's family, they all live in Australia, so I never get to see any of them because of the long distance. And over the years, we've all lost touch with each other. I was fairly close with my father's parents, my grandparents, but unfortunately, they both passed away when I was younger. And my grandmother, she passed away when I was 15, and my grandfather, he passed away when I was 12.
Wow. It sounds pretty difficult to be so young and have lost so many people who you held dear to you. Again, My condolences. I know that that must be really painful for you to experience.
Yeah, it really has been. You know, I kind of had to take on the responsibility of taking care of my parents before they passed away, when they were really sick. And that took a toll on me. And I've just experienced so much grief and loss in my life, which has been painful.
And I commend you for that because I know being a caretaker of not one, but two sickly parents, um, I know that had to really take a major toll on you. So I do commend you for your ability to do that. Um, would you mind sharing with me the years that your family members were born? Your mom, your dad, grandparents, aunts.
Yeah. Um, so my mom was born in 1970, and my dad, he was born in 1968. Um, my grandma, I believe she was born in 1947, and my grandpa, he was born in 1946, a year for her. Um, my aunt Valerie, she's only a few years older than me, so she was born in, I think, 1992. And my aunt Miranda, she's older than my mom, so she was born in 1965.
Okay. And can you tell me what year were you born?
I was born in 1998.
1998. Okay, awesome. So I know you're probably wondering, like, why are you asking me the years that they were born? So
Yeah.
basically, I would like to develop a picture for you of your family, right? So what this is called is basically a genogram, and it's something that as we continue to work together, we can further develop that. Does that sound okay with you?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So I wanted to ask, do you have any like close friends? Do you have any pets? Um, who are you connected to?
Well, like I had mentioned before, because, well, I've never really had a large circle of friends to start. But, in high school, I did have a really close friend. Her name was Sarah, but when we both graduated, she moved to California for college. And, over the years, I had to care for my parents a lot. So I really didn't have time for friends or to hang out with other people other than just going to class and connecting with people there. So I had fallen out with Sarah, and I haven't really talked to her since she moved. Um, and in college, I did have a friend, that I met in a few of my classes, and her name was Alicia. And she was originally from Africa. So when we graduated, she had to move back home. And we still text here and there, but I haven't seen her in a really long time. And I do have a pet. Actually, I have a mini poodle, and her name is Fluffy.
So it sounds like you have had some great connections in your life, but it's unfortunate that you haven't been able to maintain those connections for one reason or the other. And I hope that we can delve deeper into those things as well. And Fluffy sounds super cute. So um, I know sometimes, we also take comfort in our pets. So I'm glad that you do have Fluffy as a companion. So now I wanted to ask you, excuse me, um, could you share with me? I want to know a little bit about like your family background when it comes to medical and mental health. Are you aware of any medical or mental health issues within your family?
I mean, other than my parents, now that I think of it, I do remember when my dad was still alive, he had mentioned to me that my grandmother, she struggled with depression and anxiety throughout her life. Um, but I mean, other than her, I can't really think of anybody else that might have any medical or mental health issues.
Okay. And what about you? Have you, prior to this, have you had any experiences with anything medical or any other mental health diagnoses or concerns?
I mean, I haven't really been diagnosed. diagnosed, but ever since my parents passed away, um, I've been feeling really sad, hopeless, stuck, confused. I don't really have joy or drive to do anything that I would have done beforehand. And, like, I just don't really know how to move forward. And I have sleepless nights. Like, I haven't had a good night's sleep in months. And I just feel like really overwhelmed with, you know, my career and, how I'm going to move on. And it's just, I've been really depressed. I feel really depressed, but I don't know if I have depression or maybe even anxiety. I just haven't been diagnosed yet.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that, the death of your parents has definitely taken a major toll on you. You are um, feeling a bit confused career-wise, and I wanted to get into a little bit more of that about like what is your current career? Are you working? Are you in school? What do you have going on right now?
Yeah, I'm not in school right now. I graduated back in 2022 with my bachelor's in health science. But like I said, like ever since then, I've just been feeling really hopeless and I just don't know what I want to do career-wise. I mean, I do have my bachelor's degree, but I don't know what avenue I want to take, what specific job role I could see myself in. And I just haven't really been able to think clearly ever since my parents passed away. I've just been stuck. I've been feeling really stuck and hopeless about the future.
And that's
And
that's understandable, and I want you to know that you're valid in how you feel. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're feeling really confused about the direction of your career since the loss of your parents, and graduating from college. That's a great deal. That's a big deal, but I see that you are uncertain of the career path that you want to take, and you're feeling lost and hopeless. So I feel like we can definitely work on some kind of care plan to determine how we can get you out of those feelings of hopelessness, and also consider whether or not you would possibly need some medication to kind of aid you with your ability to sleep, because we don't want you to be restless, right? So you may be experiencing some depression and anxiety, but as we continue to engage in conversation, we can further assess what avenue we need to take. Does that sound okay?
yeah, that sounds pretty good. I do currently have a job and I work as an assistant manager at Family Dollar. I forgot to mention that. But I think that like sleep has been my biggest issue on top of, me just feeling sad and hopeless and lost. But yeah, if we could maybe work on maybe and I guess a solution to me getting better sleep at night, that would be great.
Yes, we can work on a plan for that, because I know that seems to be one of the most pressing things that's concerning you at this moment. I would like to know, in addition to that, what do you like to do? Do you have any special interests or hobbies that you're involved in?
Yeah, I mean, something that brings me joy is that I do like spending time in nature. I like to hike, and get outside when I can. I also enjoy baking in my free time. I'm a big sweets person, so I like to do that. And I also journal. I'm really into writing because I just like to write down my thoughts and feelings and everything that's ever since my parents have passed, it's been really, I guess, therapeutic for me, but I still need different ways to deal with it.
So I'm glad to know that you have some hobbies that you're interested in, and journaling is a great tool. I know sometimes I'm not sure if this is your issue, but sometimes some people have difficulty with expressing how they feel. So I definitely would encourage you to continue to journal and write your thoughts out, write your feelings out. And if you're willing at some point, maybe you can even share some of that with me so that we can kind of see where your head is and kind of work through some of those concerns that you have written down.
I'd be open to that. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Okay, so Jane, we have covered a great deal during our session about your family history, your mental health, background, relationships, work, education, and I would like us to continue to develop our relationship so that we can delve even more into what is the root of how you're feeling and how we can develop a plan to help you going forward. Would you be okay with meeting with me again next week so that we can continue to uh, work on helping you through, coping with the depression and the other issues that you're experiencing?
Yeah, I'd be open to that. I should be available next week.
Awesome. So we'll meet the same time next week. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your sharing, being vulnerable. I know it's difficult to share about yourself. So I just want to say I appreciate you for being willing to participate and give me some insight into how you're feeling.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Put this up.